2 years back, I opened my marriage to a new person, certain that my spouse would welcome the shift. We had all been co-workers once, navigating the same office environment, so I thought our shared history would smooth the way. But his response shattered my world. Even now, he occasionally reaches out, his tone gentle, murmuring that he misses me. Yet none of that holds weight anymore. Once you hear how everything fell apart, you'll understand why I'm left with nothing. It all started in a lively marketing firm where the three of us worked. My husband, Nathan, and I had been wed for 9 years. Our life wasn't collapsing, but it had settled into a monotonous rhythm that felt more like resignation than comfort. Each day melted into the next rising. Scanning emails, sipping coffee, sitting through meetings, sharing dinner, and slipping into sleep. The pattern looped endlessly. I cared for him, or at least I believed I did. But love, when it wanes, doesn't always signal its exit with a grand gesture. Then I met Javier. Javier possessed a magnetic aura that effortlessly drew people toward him. Charismatic, daring, with a quick wit that made you feel special just for understanding his jokes. We shared office space, worked together on campaigns, and slowly, I found myself looking forward to the work week again. I told myself it was harmless, a mere friendship, a spark of excitement to remind me I was still alive. Nathan liked him too, which made things easier. At first, we'd enjoy drinks after late office nights, the three of us laughing together. Nathan showed no hints of doubt or jealousy. If anything, he seemed grateful that I had a colleague to brighten my spirits, as if it relieved some unspoken pressure from him. Perhaps he thought Javier's presence would bridge the gaps he couldn't fill. Javier and I didn't immediately cross into forbidden territory, but the undercurrent of attraction was undeniable. Every glance carried a charge, every fleeting touch lingered too long. I still vividly recall the first time it happened, a late night at the office. The project complete, wine glasses in hand, and a heavy silence that felt like an open door. He leaned in, slow and intentional. I didn't retreat. I returned his kiss, as if I'd been holding my breath for years. That night, I went home feeling alive, yet burdened by a guilt I couldn't express. Still, I didn't stop. We concealed our affair, covert texts, stolen moments in hotel rooms, lunches that were far from professional. At home, I resumed my role as Nathan's wife, preparing meals, watching TV, acting as if nothing had changed. I believed I could balance both worlds, keeping them neatly apart. But Javier began to press. Why are we hiding? Why can't this be real? He called my marriage a prison, arguing that if Nathan truly loved me, he'd want my happiness, even if it was unconventional. His words took root, growing over time. I began exploring open relationships, love without exclusivity, the idea that Nathan might understand if I presented it carefully. Javier encouraged the notion, offering to join me in discussing it with Nathan, convinced we could all find a way to coexist. He genuinely believed Nathan was open-minded enough to accept that love could expand rather than break. Looking back, it seems naive, but at the time, it felt groundbreaking, as if I were redefining commitment rather than destroying it. I picked a quiet Sunday morning to tell Nathan, coffee steaming between us as he browsed news on his tablet. I sat opposite him, heart racing, and said we needed to talk seriously. When I confessed, he didn't react right away. He just blinked, set the tablet down deliberately, and let out a hollow chuckle, not one of amusement, but of disbelief. Then the questions came. You're with Javier? Since when? Are you serious? I held nothing back. I shared every detail, insisting I still loved him, that I just needed something more, that perhaps we could all sit down and find a way forward. He looked at me as if I were a stranger. No yelling, no tears, just a quiet retreat. He stood and left the house. I thought that was the worst of it until he returned 3 hours later, unnervingly calm, and said, "Fine, bring him here." I was stunned. What? You said you want to talk, so let's talk with him. It felt like a trap. But Javier was hopeful. This is our opportunity, he said. He's coming around. So the next evening, Javier came to our home. The atmosphere was thick with unease at first. Nathan poured whiskey, and Javier tried to ease into the conversation with charm, saying things like, "This isn't about replacing you. There's space for all of us." Nathan nodded, his expression unreadable. Then suddenly, Nathan turned to me and said, "How long did you think you could betray me and call it honesty?" I froze, unable to answer. He shifted his gaze to Javier. "You think you're some kind of savior? You carry on with my wife for months behind my back, and now you expect me to praise your boldness? Javier's confidence wavered. It's not like that, he stammered. But Nathan wasn't done. I welcomed you into our lives, our home, and you repay me by tearing it apart. He stood, his voice steady but cold as frost. I don't share, I don't beg, and I don't piece together what someone else chose to break. Then he looked at me not with rage or cruelty, but with finality. You made your choice, both of you. Now I'm making mine. And with that, he walked out, not just from the room, but from our home, our marriage. 2 weeks later, divorce papers arrived. No arguments, no attempts to reconcile, just a clean break. And Javier? He didn't stay either. He spoke of starting anew, but without the secrecy. The spark faded. What we had thrived in the shadows, not in the open. Our connection unraveled, almost as quickly as it had begun. Now, I live alone. Nathan calls sometimes, his voice soft and tired. Sometimes he just says, I miss you, and hangs up. It tears me apart because I miss him too. But I know I broke something beyond repair, no matter how much I yearn to reclaim it. I thought I was expanding our love, opening new doors, but I was merely cloaking betrayal in grand ideals. I believed Nathan would accept it because I wanted him to, but he didn't. He walked away, and perhaps that was the bravest act of all. In the end, I learned that love cannot survive without raw honesty, not justifications, not betrayal disguised as progress, but unfiltered truth. I thought I could have everything without sacrifice, but choices have consequences, and when trust shatters, even love cannot bear the weight.